Love, a simple word, yet it holds the essence of life itself. It's a feeling that transcends time and space, connecting souls in ways that words often fail to describe. It's the most powerful force in the universe. It can move mountains. Love has the power to inspire us to reach heights we never thought possible. It gives us the strength to overcome the greatest challenges and the courage to face our deepest fears. It can heal broken hearts. Love can change everything. When we are enveloped in love, the world seems brighter, and our burdens feel lighter. It's a force that can mend the deepest wounds and bring light to the darkest corners of our hearts. Think about the people we love, our family, our friends, our partners. Their love is a source of endless joy and comfort. It's the laughter shared over a meal, the warm embrace after a long day, and the silent support during tough times. Their love makes us better. It gives us hope. It's the driving force behind our dreams and the anchor that keeps us grounded. Love motivates us to be kinder, more compassionate, and more understanding. It makes us want to be our best. Love pushes us to strive for excellence, to achieve our goals, and to become the best versions of ourselves. It's the fuel that powers our ambitions and the light that guides our path. But there's a love that's even greater, a love that transcends human understanding. It's a love that is boundless and infinite, a love that is perfect in every way, a love that's perfect and pure. This love isn't tainted by selfish desires or conditional terms. It's a love that is given freely and abundantly, expecting nothing in return. That love is God's love. God is love, not just loving. God's love is the ultimate expression of what it means to truly care for someone. It's a love that is unwavering and eternal. Not just loving us a lot. He is love itself. God's love is the very essence of his being. It's a love that is all-encompassing and all-powerful, a love that knows no bounds. And his love for us is amazing. It's a love that accepts us as we are, flaws and all. It's a love that forgives, heals, and restores. It's a love that brings peace to our heart and joy to our soul. It's something we can depend on, no matter what. His love is unfailing, it's unstoppable, and it's unconditional. In a world that is constantly changing, God's love remains a constant source of comfort and strength. It's a love that we can always rely on, a love that will never let us down. It's a love that is truly the power of love. Think about a time you felt loved. Maybe it was a moment that caught you by surprise, a simple gesture that warmed your heart, or a grand act that left you speechless. Maybe it was a hug from a parent, a warm embrace that made you feel safe and cherished, as if nothing in the world could harm you. Or perhaps it was a kind word from a friend, a compliment that lifted your spirits, or a shared laugh that made you feel understood and valued. God's love is like that, but even bigger. His love never fails. It's like the sun rising every morning bringing light and warmth to the world, or the ocean waves that keep coming no matter what. It never gives up on us. Just like a friend who helps you up when you fall, or a parent who holds your hand through tough times, God's love is always there, unwavering and steadfast. Even when we mess up, even when we make mistakes and feel regret, when we sit alone and think about our failures, or when we wipe away our tears, his love remains. Even when we walk away, God's love remains. It's like a door that's always open, waiting for us to return, or a smile that welcomes us back, no matter how far we've strayed. The Bible tells us that God is patient. He is kind. He waits for us with open arms, ready to forgive and embrace us. His patience is like a serene moment of meditation, a peaceful walk in nature, where everything feels right and calm. He doesn't keep a record of our wrongs. He forgives us. It's like tearing up a list of mistakes, erasing the errors and starting fresh. It's a handshake or an embrace that says, all is forgiven. He welcomes us back with open arms, like a parent who opens their arms wide for a child, or a friend who runs to hug you, or someone who welcomes you with a smile that says, I've missed you. That's what unfailing love means. It's a love that embraces you, that laughs with you, that enjoys every moment with you, no matter what. It's a love that's always there, no matter what. Whether you're sitting alone, feeling content, walking with friends in a park, or gazing at a beautiful sunset, that love is always with you, constant and unwavering. One of the best stories about God's unfailing love is the story of the prodigal son. Jesus told this story to show us how much God loves us. In the story, a young man takes his inheritance and runs away. He wastes all his money on wild living. He hits rock bottom. He's lost and alone. He finally decides to go home. He knows he doesn't deserve his father's love. But when he returns home, something amazing happens. His father runs to meet him. He welcomes him back with open arms. God's love is unstoppable. It can break down any barrier. Sin, shame, guilt. Nothing can separate us from his love. He loves us too much to let anything come between us. He wants to be close to us. He wants to have a relationship with us. And his love is powerful enough to make that happen. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, God's love can reach you. It can heal your heart. It can give you a fresh start. All you have to do is open your heart to him. Section 5, the Apostle Paul, transformed by grace. The Apostle Paul is a great example of God's unstoppable love. Paul used to persecute Christians. He thought he was doing the right thing. But then, he had an encounter with Jesus that changed everything. God's love broke through Paul's hard heart. It transformed him from an enemy of the faith to one of its greatest champions. Paul's story shows us that God's love can reach anyone. No one is beyond his reach. No matter how far you've strayed, God's love can bring you back. Section 6, unconditional, accepted just as we are. God's love isn't based on what we do. It's not based on how good we are. It's unconditional. That means he loves us just as we are. With all our flaws and imperfections, he loves us even when we don't love ourselves. We don't have to earn God's love. We don't have to pretend to be someone we're not. He sees our hearts, he knows our struggles, and he loves us anyway. Section 7, the woman at the well embraced despite her past. In the Bible, Jesus meets a woman at a well. This encounter is one of the most profound moments in the New Testament, illustrating the depth of Jesus' compassion and understanding. She's had a hard life. Her days are filled with regret and sorrow, and she carries the weight of her past mistakes heavily on her shoulders. She's made some bad choices that have led her down a path of isolation and shame. Each decision a step further away from the community and the life she once knew. She's an outcast in her community. People avoid her, whisper behind her back, and judge her without knowing the full story. Her loneliness is palpable, a constant reminder of her perceived unworthiness. But Jesus doesn't judge her. He sees her heart. He knows her pain. He understands the struggles she has faced and the reasons behind her choices. His approach is not one of condemnation, but of empathy and love. And he offers her living water, his love and forgiveness. This living water symbolizes a new beginning, a chance to wash away the past and start anew. It's an offer of hope and redemption. This story shows us that God's love is for everyone. It transcends all boundaries, reaching out to each person regardless of their past or present circumstances. It is a love that is inclusive and unconditional. No matter what you've done, no matter the mistakes you've made or the regrets you hold, no matter what you're going through, God loves you. His love is a constant, unwavering force that seeks to heal and restore. He wants to forgive you. He desires to lift the burden of guilt and shame from your shoulders, offering you peace and reconciliation. He wants to give you a fresh start. Just as the sunrise marks the beginning of a new day, God's forgiveness marks the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Embrace it and let his love transform you. Section 8, experiencing God's love in our lives. How can we experience this amazing love? How can we know for sure that God loves us? We experience God's love through his word, the Bible. It tells us about his love. It shows us his love in action. We also experience God's love through prayer. When we talk to God, we open our hearts to him. We let him love us, and we begin to feel his love in return. Section 9, a love that heals and restores. God's love is powerful. It can heal our hurts. It can mend our brokenness. It can give us hope when we feel hopeless. When we experience God's love, it changes us. We become more loving, more forgiving, more compassionate. We start to see ourselves the way God sees us, as his beloved children, and that changes everything. Section 10, sharing God's love with the world. When we experience God's love, we can't keep it to ourselves. We have to share it. We share God's love by how we live, by how we treat others, by showing kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. We share God's love by telling others about him, by letting them know that they are loved, that they are accepted, that they are never alone. Section 11, A love that lasts forever. God's love is a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving. It's a love that will never let us go. No matter what tomorrow brings, we can face it with confidence, because we know that God loves us, and His love is enough. Let's open our hearts to God's unfailing, unstoppable, unconditional love.